All set? Good evening. Call this meeting of the Buxton Planning Board for Monday, August 12th to order. First item on the agenda is a Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is a public hearing for Jacqueline Allen, who's applying for a home daycare, map 2, lot 58-4 at 74 Allen Avenue.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to open the public hearing for Jacqueline Allen, map 2, lot 58-4, 74 Allen Avenue.
Second. I have a motion by Craig, a second by Keith. All those in favor? Okay, 4 now. Okay, can you just briefly, you've been here, what, 3 times now or twice at least?
Yes.
Can you just briefly tell us what you're planning on doing?
I'm opening up a daycare and a bonus room off my garage at my house.
Okay. And the number of children?
5.
Okay. Any questions? We did a site walk a couple, maybe 3 weeks ago, I think it was.
Yeah, about a month ago.
Yep, everything seemed fine.
Yep.
Plenty of parking. Roger, any issues or?
No, it's, I mean, everything you asked for with the 5 and everything makes sense. No issues with parking, more space than needed. And it doesn't sound like you plan for growth other than the 5, so I have no questions or comments.
Greg?
I'm all set.
Keith?
No, everything looks fine.
Okay, I don't have any other questions. Any abutters would like to speak?
I was curious if this is in perpetuity.
As long as she lives there and owns the property, yes. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
The person asked if it was in perpetuity because if you speak from the audience, the people watching can't hear you and they get very frustrated. So I'll just repeat your question, and as long as you live there, you're going to continue, well, if you decide not to, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
So pretty much until she decides. If you're going to ask more questions, you're going to have to go to the podium. Okay? Thank you.
Can you ask him to state his name for the record?
And state your name for the record, please. Thank you.
Ethan Huntington.
Yep.
I was curious if we have if we sell the property and if somebody wants to put a pool in, do we need to put a fence around it like they had to make this legitimate, or
That's a code enforcement question, not a planning board question.
not a planning board? All right.
If a neighbor puts the pool up, was that the question?
Or you, the neighbor does?
Yes, we are the neighbor. I was just curious if this puts any implications on our property specifically.
I think, and I quote me if I misspeak, if you put a pole on your property, you have to have it fenced.
A fence around it.
Anybody puts a pole on their property has it fenced, is that correct? Yeah. You all set? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the general public? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing. Do I have a second?
A second.
Motion by myself, a second by Roger to close the public hearing. All those in favor? Before with 1 absent. Conditions of approval. I can read through our normal conditions. Does anybody else have additional the only other additional condition I would add is that you provide us a copy of your license from DHS. And Patty, are you gonna do,
Yes, I think you have findings in front of you.
okay? And are you also gonna do an inspection?
Yes.
Per se to this memo?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll read the standard conditions of approval. For conditional use, all elements and features of this application are all representations made by the applicant concerning the development and use of the property, which appear in the record of the planning board proceedings are conditions of approval. No change from the conditions of approval is permitted unless an amended plan is first submitted and then approved by the planning board. Number 2, that the applicant be in compliance with all applicable provisions of Article 8.2b and Article 10. Number 3, that the applicant be in compliance with all applicable provisions of Section 11, if applicable. Number 4, all outstanding bills paid before a billing permit is issued, and 5, any others.
Second.
I have a second to that. Well, no, that's just the conditions.
Right.
I'll have to go to the motions.
You haven't done that yet.
I'll make a motion based on previous discussions. We find the applicant to be in compliance with all applicable provisions of Article 8.2B, 10, and Section 11, if applicable.
Second.
I have a motion by myself, a second by Craig. Discussion, all those in favor? Be 4 in favor with 1 absent. The second motion is a motion to approve the application with the conditions stated this evening and from any previous meetings. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, motion by myself, a second by Roger. Discussion, all those in favor? Okay. You're all set.
Yes,
You
I got it.
decide to change anything,
Well, this is,
decide to
no,
change
was tough.
anything,
That was hard.
hours, number of kids, whatever, you need to come back to the planning board.
To
I think
amend
you
your
went over that
approval.
pretty well.
Yes.
Okay. What is the name of your business?
Just simply kids.
Just Simply Kids?
Yes.
And if somebody's interested in seeking your services, how is the best way to contact you?
I'm gonna have like a social media page
Okay.
and that type of stuff.
And you have vacancies right now?
Yes.
Okay. And you plan to start in September,
Yes.
depending on your DHS?
Depending on license, yeah.
Okay.
I can
Alright.
I can have 2 kids without a license,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, I got 2 grandkids, but they need licenses. Okay, thank you, good luck.
Thank you so
Good luck,
much.
thank
You're
you.
welcome. Next item on the agenda is Matthew Albert, who's requesting a conditional use to have an event menu at 590 Narragansett Trail, map 6, lot 38.
Jerry?
Yes.
Can you vote on the findings for the daycare?
What about them?
Can you vote on them so that?
Right now?
Yeah, so that they can come, you can come in and sign them with the conditions,
Sure.
please?
Does everybody have a copy of the findings for the daycare? So,
Yes, it's,
I got so many papers here, I don't know what's,
Hey, Jerry.
I've already looked Mike's.
okay. Is everybody all set with these? Somebody want to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve the findings of fact for Jacqueline Adams Home Daycare at 74 Allen Ave, tax map 2, lot 58-4.
A second?
A motion by Craig and a second by Roger to accept the findings of fact for Jacqueline Allen of 74 Allen Ave, tax map 12, lot 58-4. All those in favor? Before with 1 absent. Do you want me to sign those now?
No.
Okay. I'm sorry, Matt. So can you just briefly tell us what you're planning on doing?
Sure. I own, located at 590 Narragansett Trail, the white farmhouse that we've recently renovated over the past number of years. That farmhouse is currently used as a short-term rental Airbnb style, and we are seeking permission to use the back open fields to host events such as weddings, stuff like that. These would all be under tent. The house is not involved at all, except for sleeping a small number of guests who may be at that event. There's about 5 acres of fields right there, and we've sort of been manicuring them specifically to have natural delineage and boundaries. And we have one that we've cleaned up real well, so that way we can have tents and stuff like that. Everything is going to be carry in, carry out. Whoever wishes to host their event there is responsible to then contract with bringing in a tent and food and entertainment and bathrooms, again, because the house is off limits to the events. So they are responsible to provide everything, responsible and required to provide everything. And all of those outside vendors are all self-contained, meaning the caterer is responsible for removing the food waste and gray water, and the bathroom company is responsible for collecting and hauling off the sewage, and so on and so forth. So pretty simple, just looking for that.
Okay. We held the sidewalk, was it last week, last Tuesday? I can't remember.
No, it was 3 weeks ago,
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
July-ish.
maybe
We were
4.
all in attendance. Roger, do you have any comments on the sidewalk?
I thought that there was ample parking. I think you're pretty well set up to have the people, and you got backup plans for where you would park extra cars. You got 3 sets of parking areas, and then potentially a 4th one in the where that 10 is, right?
Yep.
I should also, I'm in a butter as well, so I just want to put that out there and recuse myself from any voting, or do I mean, what's the, I don't know what the stance is correctly on that to.
So the
'cause
protocol is that you disclose that you're in a butter.
Yep.
You state whether you feel you're biased or not biased. There's no conflict.
Yeah,
And the board votes on whether you're biased or not biased, and votes whether you can participate or not.
okay. I don't believe I'm biased other than just being pro-business in Buxton, so, and so I think that it's pretty well organized. The house is fantastic. I think one of the comments on the site walk was about the shed, that you're gonna just utilize the same footprint. And that's, something that you would probably want to take care of anyways, because it makes the property even nicer, and I have no other comments, no.
Okay, before we go any further, can I have a motion to allow Roger to continue participating in the process? Since he stated that he doesn't have a bias, but he is in a butter.
Yep. I'll make a motion to allow Roger Tracy to continue in the discussion and voting on Matthew Albrecht.
I second that
Second.
motion.
I have a motion by Craig and a second by Heath. Did you get that okay? Discussion, all those in favor would be 3 with 1 absent and 1 abstaining. Okay, Craig, do you have any comments on the application, on the sidewalk?
On the site walk? No. On the application, yes.
Okay,
Yep. On the application, you haven't changed
Oh, shit.
your proposed use yet. And then on your sketch plan, can you, when you bring in your application, the corrected application, can you put or show the direction your stormwater goes off from around the building?
Yeah, so
Parking
that
lots.
is identified on each thing by the squiggly arrow lines. It shows in all the directions. That's all of the surface areas that, it shows kind of where all of the stormwater goes. And when you're on the site, it's pretty clear, because you can then see immediately the other side of all of those lines are where the drainage ditches are all in the field.
is that sufficient for you? Okay,
Yeah, I'm good with that.
okay. Any other items?
Not right now, nope.
Heath?
No, everything looked good when we went for the site walk.
Okay, I don't have any issues. I think the site's fine. There's plenty of sight lines on 202 to get in and out. The parking looks ample. There's options to put the tent in a number of spaces, so I don't have any issues. Does the board feel we have sufficient information to set a public hearing?
I believe so.
Okay, can I get a motion?
What's the date? When's our next?
It would be August 26th.
26. Make a motion to set a public hearing for Matthew Albrecht for conditional use for event venue, 590 Narragansett Trail, map 6, lot 38, for August 26.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion by Craig and a second by Roger to set a public hearing for Matthew Albert for a event venue at 590 Narragansett Trail, map 6, lot 38. All those in favor? Okay, 4 voting and one absent. Okay,
Jerry, before Matt leaves the podium, did you want to address this now or at the public hearing?
the applicant has written us a letter requesting that we waive the condition for the parking lot to be paved. In the ordinance, it allows us to waive that condition. Do we want to vote on that, or do you want to vote it on when we do the final?
Might as well do it with a public hearing.
We'll do the public hearing.
Yeah.
Okay. But we received your letter, and we'll take it under consideration.
Sure.
And it's within our purview to waive that requirement.
Yes. Yep.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Does town
No
does code
comments?
enforcement need any additional information from the applicant?
No.
Okay. Okay, we'll see you on the 26th.
Just so I have my homework, the only thing I need to do is adjust that application.
Yep.
Yep.
Perfect.
And there was some screening about the dumpster, wasn't there?
The comment I had made on the site walk was asking if there was a dumpster on site.
And you
There is
said
a
no.
dumpster on the
There's,
barrel side of it.
yeah, there's not a dumpster there at the house.
But I think you said you were gonna take anything to your other
Correct,
business.
yeah. Yeah, next door, on the same, technically the same plot of land is where we have the dumpster, and we're just gonna truck everything over there.
You're not planning on having a dumpster on this physical address?
Correct,
Okay.
correct, yep.
And I think the biggest thing is that we're not utilizing the town
Correct,
waste
yeah.
facilities for commercial.
Yeah,
So
we have, we do have one of the cans for the town system, honestly, 99.9% of the time anyway, I empty those immediately into our dumpster. So that way there's nothing going in. But obviously for events like this, there's also, part of the contract also sort of requires a certain amount of trash removal on their part. So like I said, all of the vendors remove their own, so there is actually fairly little trash, to be honest with you, at the end. But it doesn't matter, because whatever there is, going to the dumpster next door.
Okay. All right, we'll see you on the 26th.
Excellent, thank you.
thank you.
Next item on the application, on the agenda, excuse me, is Kyle Estes. His application for conditional use to have an auto detailing business at 22 Ripple Lane, map 3, lot 1A-1. Good evening.
Hello.
Can you just briefly again tell us what you would like to do?
My name is Kyle Estes. I'm the owner of Estes Auto Detailing. My plan is to open a detailing shop in Buxton off Ripple Lane, which is just near the Buxton Mini Mart. I'm going to be providing detailing and ceramic coating and paint corrections.
Okay. We did a site walk
We did, same night we did.
same night as we went to
Matt's.
Matt Albert's.
Yep.
I've been there before. I didn't, comments, Roger, on the sidewalk or what you saw there?
It was a really clean space. The parking lot was cleared. There weren't, there was landscaping and truck equipment over to the right-hand side, but where you were operating, the area was clean. You didn't have any cars in there, and, nothing no comments in terms of the site walk, no. I thought that, yeah.
Craig?
I thought the site walk went well. Everything looked neat, clean. That would be a good space for him. But I don't have any issues so far.
Didn't we notice that there was some sort of drainage issue
There,
going to the back corner of the property?
yes, there was, would I have it? I had it here somewhere. I wrote it down for us. But in lieu of that, there's also a section in our zoning ordinance that covers that as well, that I have here in front of me.
Can I make a comment on that?
Yep.
Since the site walk, we installed a silt fence along the whole back, and then we plan on doing hay bales in front of the silt fence, as well as what was already there.
Okay, but you're responsible to make sure that the runoff from your property does not affect adjacent properties. Are you confident that that silt fence and those hay bales will contain the runoff from your property to that adjacent property?
Yes.
Okay. Does the board want more of a technical engineering design, or is that sufficient?
Well, I'd like to discuss kind of what we have here in front of us that's in our zoning ordinance that
Yep.
deals with that. And then, this was in my packet from the DEP on outdoor washing over in Aquifer. I don't know if you've had a chance to read it.
Yep. Runoff from certain outdoor washing activities performed on impervious areas may be directed to a vegetated area where it can infiltrate, providing this method does not cause erosion or sedimentation problems, is not located over sensitive areas such as sand and gravel aquifers. Outdoor washing should be performed in a manner to avoid creating runoff toward exposed vehicle maintenance areas. So the question is this use allowed over that aquifer?
Well, it doesn't specifically say it's not. It says the following uses are not allowed on any significant sand and gravel aquifer or its recharge area: auto service stations, auto repair garages, cemeteries, bulk fuel storage, automobile graveyards, and junkyards and marinas. But I can see how, even though it doesn't state it, there's going to have to be, you have to make sure that that water doesn't leave the property. And this is, and this is also, I support small business more than anything. There's just a challenge that make sure your neighbors are protected and just doing due diligence. And generally, the department will not authorize discharges of wastewater that contains acid, bases, metal brighteners, degreasing agents, or other additives that are toxic. I know you spoke about using natural ingredients and but the challenge is how to enforce it and to make sure that we're not going to hurt other people by, providing the service. And then on basically, if a sewer is not available, because the general if practical, it should be used a municipal wastewater treatment facility. If a sewer is not available, a wastewater from outdoor washing should be conveyed to a closed-loop wash water recycle system if practical, or performed on impervious areas to capture solids. Runoff from certain outdoor washing activities performed on impervious areas may be directed to vegetated areas where it can infiltrate. But it goes on to say that provided this method does not cause erosion or sedimentation problems and is not located over sensitive areas, such as a sand gravel aquifer. I think that's going to be a challenge. I don't think it's impossible, but just these are just laws and regulations from DEP that were forwarded into our packet. So
my name is Don Smith. I'm a business manager working with Brian in his business. So I have a couple of questions. The first question is, does that cover auto car washes, where there's a high volume of car wash being done, and then there's a fair amount of wastewater? That would be my first question. The second thing to point out is, you remember when we did the site walk that Kyle has a blotter set up, which is what he's using right now, working out of his dad's garage, that captures the water. There's minimal water used to wash these cars. He does not need to use a lot of water, and he doesn't plan to wash the cars outside. The plan is to wash the cars inside with a blotter underneath the car to capture the water, to allow it to evaporate as he goes through the day, right? So if he does a couple cars a day, he's got 2 bays, so I'll have 2 bays, 2 blotters, And the thing I liked about his plan was to capture everything inside, because our main focus was minimal impact on the neighborhood and minimal impact environmentally as well. So I just want to make sure that was clear.
I think in just in response to covering auto car washes, I think that most auto car washes they have a closed loop treatment facility, with a wastewater disposal that recirculates most of that material.
Right.
After it's been used, it'll be used again.
Craig, do you have any additional right now?
Not right now. No.
Keith?
So, again, with the wastewater, now this is out of this book here. I don't know, did you get a copy of this at all? About this particular ordinance, stating that the significant sand and gravel aquifer or recharge area? Did you get that
No.
paperwork by chance?
And when we called DEP, we were told that there was no regulation of this type of auto detailing business, and Ms. Plummer did not mention this, and she just may have not known about it off the top of her head, so we may need to revisit it with her. But this is the first we're hearing of this, yeah.
Okay, well, because as I'm reading this, it also states, and I'm pretty sure Roger did not read this part, about wastewater or liquids with potential to threaten the groundwater quality must have a watertight concrete floor with watertight concrete dikes adequate to contain the large amount of liquid on site at any time and comply with all applicable laws, rules, and ordinances. So I know you're saying that he's using a mat, but is that going to trap all the water? I mean,
Well,
is it going to permeate through the concrete?
I'll let him respond.
So the mat is probably, it's inflated on the sides. It probably sits up 4, 5, 6 inches, and I can wash 2 to 3 cars on it, and it doesn't overflow. The way I've kind of figured out ways to minimize the amount of water going over it and try and keep as much going on it so it just drips down onto the mat, because the space that I'm using currently is awfully confined, and I try and get as minimal amount of water on the walls and such. So the mat captures almost all of it.
This mat you talk of, I mean, I guess I've never seen one. So, like, when you're done the car, how do you get the car off without water coming out of it?
Very minimal water comes off. The tires go off it, and then it might splash a little bit, but I have it far enough away to where I can just squeegee the water or just use my shop vac to vacuum it up.
And I'm confident that in using those systems that the water's only going to go to the parking lot where that's an impervious area and it's said to be allowed. The one thing that I'm not positive on is that that aquifer recharge zone, because I don't know. I've heard of that there is one in the area. I don't know specifically off the top of my head my knowledge where the aquifer is, but I think that this is different than thinking rules, but that water, if it's staying right outside your garage door and it's filtering through that impervious area, it would be okay, but it's got to make sure that it's not on a recharge area, and that's not for, anything other than just protecting, people.
Does town staff have any input on this?
No, I was gonna bring it up, but you guys brought it up,
Okay.
that our ordinance says, they'll have to address that to satisfy this.
Yes. Do we need to talk to town council to see if this use constitutes?
Because it's not a listed prohibited use. It's,
So,
No.
can I?
Yep.
On a significant sand and gravel aquifer, which this property is, there may be no on-site disposal of wastewater other than normal domestic wastewater without prior approval of the planning board. So they're gonna have to convince the board, this is more than domestic wastewater.
Yep.
That their plan is appropriate to keep it off of the, out of the aquifer.
And then read the next sentence, disposal of wastewater must be in strict compliance with the main subsurface wastewater disposal rules and other relevant state and local codes and ordinances. So, is it possible that you could get us some information on those standards? Maybe a little more information from DEP, whether they think that these mats are sufficient to contain the water in the property?
Yeah.
And maybe some specifications or some information on these mats so that we could be a little more educated on exactly how they work.
Absolutely. And with your permission, I'll have him set one up, and we'll take some pictures if that will help
That's
you.
fine,
So you
yeah.
can kind of see.
Yep.
We'll spray some water, we'll put a
Yep.
car in there, spray some water on it. Let's do that a few times and see how much water collects in there.
Yep.
And so you guys can have a better idea of what's going on.
Okay.
Sound good?
Then I just want to be, like, I fully support you working hard.
Yeah.
And like, this is, you know, I don't let a board slow you down from working hard, but also just, it's is vital, and this is why we're here, and
Understood.
I mean,
Thank you.
we live in a town where there's no public water. So our aquifers, our wells, our groundwater is an enormous resource that we have to be really careful of.
Yeah, I completely understand.
And like Roger said, I support you 100% in your attempt to get a business, but we want to make sure that it's done correctly and that you're not liable and that there's not issues in your neighborhood.
Yep, totally.
Okay? So why don't, are you fairly clear on what we're asking of you for now?
There's more.
Okay?
We have to talk about the split zone,
Yes.
and we have to talk about the table of land uses requiring an area for a business and an area for residential, because that was brought up to us before.
Okay. Your input on the split zone, the majority of the property is, how do you guys, would you rather, I mean, you've got 888 square feet in the village and 63,907 square feet in the rural. Is this a permitted use in the village zone?
In the village zone, yes.
Okay. And I think if the majority of the property is in one zone, then you can carry the use to that zone?
So I believe the garage straddles that zone line.
yeah, it looks like
Okay.
it's.
We can, the ordinance allows the planning board to move that zone line 50 feet, one way or another.
Okay.
And I think if you see that scale on the bottom,
Yep.
that probably takes in most of the garage,
Okay.
Yep.
so that the use would be in the correct zone.
Okay. Are you in concurrence with that assessment?
Yes.
Okay. The board?
Yeah, I
Yes,
agree.
I'm good with that.
So for purposes right now, we're going to say that we're going to move the village zone 50 feet to the west,
To the, yeah,
northwest
northwest.
side of the lot to encompass the garages inside the village zone. And then Patty provided us with a list of, and I can provide these to people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 businesses that are located in the rural residential village, residential village, commercial, rural village, rural. They're all businesses that are on those lots. Is that, would you draw a comment on that?
Yes, so all of these, say, let's see, we just did one, we did one a couple of weeks ago in the residential zone where it's 120,000 square feet. They have 3.17 acres. We never asked them if they had an additional 120,000 square feet for the business. From what I could see, I don't know that we've ever interpreted the ordinance to require both of those lot sizes, one for each. And these are examples of where we didn't.
Right, and the town council asked us to find precedent on how the
How the board,
board has acted in the past.
yes, and that's why I did this research.
And this is how we have not made separate designations for different zones to be conforming lots, correct?
We have not required a lot in the residential zone, say.
Right.
To have, well, let's say village, because we're in the village.
Right.
We haven't required them to have 80,000 square feet for their business and another 80,000 square feet for their house.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
And that wouldn't apply on non-conforming lots anyway, would it?
Not talking about non-conforming lots.
Yeah, but what happens if you want to have a business on a non-conforming lot?
Well, there's some on this list.
You could still do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's a permitted use and we go through all the.
Yes, yes. Is the board fairly clear on what we're discussing? Any questions?
The board should vote on that at some point.
Okay,
I don't know that it has to be tonight, but
okay,
also should vote on moving that zone line and that it's going to read the ordinance that way, not
Okay.
to require an additional,
maybe we can do that if the application gets to a final approval stage, we can make that as conditions of approval, if we get to
It's-
that stage.
it's not a condition, the board has to vote
Okay.
that that's how it's interpreting the ordinance in this case.
Okay. Does the board want to do that now, or we want to wait till later? Probably should wait till later.
Wait till later.
Any additional questions for the applicant?
I just would
Yes,
like,
sure.
yeah, I just wanted to make one additional clarification, is that the issue of runoff is also a concern for us.
Yep.
And we're in the process of addressing it. As Brian mentioned, we have installed some new silt fencing. That is an ongoing thing that we are doing, and I think we have about 75 or 80 feet more to do. I was over there measuring it the other day, but by the time we meet again, and I'll take more pictures of it, we're going to have, I think, what'll be an excellent barrier to keep, anything from running from our property on into the back areas as well.
I mean, when I was there, and Craig, we noticed it too, is that it all pitches down behind
Yep.
that accessory dwelling unit in that back corner there.
Yep.
And if we could somehow make sure that there's enough retention area or silt fences or buffer there, that the water on a fairly good storm stays on the property and then leaches down into the ground instead of going on to the adjoining property.
Gotcha. Yep, understood.
Okay? Okay, I guess we'll see you on the 26th.
Are you ready to schedule a public hearing?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
No,
You publicly really think we're gonna wait till we get, can we get, so you're gonna get some input from DEP.
Yep,
You're gonna provide us, information about the mat system.
yep,
You are going to take pictures of that mat system and work.
yep.
And then you're gonna also take pictures of the new, stormwater retention system that you're gonna install.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, what we can do, Brian and I are just talking, forgive the sidebar discussion, but what we can do is, if you want, we can remove all the reclaim on that side of the property and just carve out a retention area, if that will help your decision, to really give a place for everything to collect and then seep down into the ground. If that's what you'd like to see, we'll do it. We'll do whatever it takes to, get where you guys need to be comfortable with this, and the neighbors are comfortable with this as well. But we just need the direction from you.
Well,
Because we installed the reclaim, and it's compacted, so the water goes on it like it would, but the whole area is always sand, so if we remove that, it would naturally dissipate into the ground.
well, and even gravel is impervious. Reclaimed gravel pavement, it's all considered impervious. So whether it's reclaim or sand, it'll essentially perform the same function as, until it allows it to seep down.
I know the sand would be a lot, you dump a 5-gallon bucket in the sand versus in
It'll drink, yeah.
the reclaim,
They'll absorb it. It's what you're comfortable with, and certainly,
well, technically, what you should do is you should provide some type of professional engineering
Yep.
showing that system, how it's designed and how it's built, because that's a condition of the ordinance,
Yep.
that it's sufficient to take care of the runoff from that property and keep it on the property.
Okay.
So I would feel more comfortable, I hate to have you spend more money, but the condition of the ordinance is that you're responsible to provide us with a soil and erosion plan that's performed by a professional engineer. So why don't we have that done?
Yep,
And then there'll be no issue.
absolutely. We don't oppose that, and we'll take care of that.
Anything else from the board?
I don't think so.
Okay, we'll see you on the 26th.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Excuse me. Okay, next item on the agenda, if I can find my agenda, is Rob Morowski is applying for a conditional use to have landscaping equipment storage at 22 Ripple Lane, map 3, lot 1A-1. Good evening.
Good evening.
Just again, briefly tell us what you're planning on doing.
I have a property maintenance company and need a place to store my equipment. Stuff that really can't be out in the elements needs to be stored inside, and trucks and other equipment that doesn't matter can be outside.
We did a site walk, what, 3 weeks ago?
Yep. Same night.
You're on the left-hand side of the building,
Yeah, looking at it, yep.
the young gentleman.
Yep.
Comments from the board? Roger, do you have any issues with the sidewalk or anything?
Same site. I thought that, again, the site was very clean, organized. The only comment I had was something that Heath had noticed, just so you're not going to find yourself, violating any of the rule here, but it just says no automobile graveyards, and you had a couple cars that you were working on. I mean, they weren't registered either way. I thought
Have
that.
been since we had the sidewalk.
Perfect. But honestly, you're using it for storage. I don't see that there's any rule against it. It looks like it falls in that 80,000 square feet, so you should have the room. And yeah, no other comments from me.
Greg?
Nothing right now, Jerry.
Okay. Heath?
No, I'm fine right now.
Okay. I didn't have any issues whatsoever.
The only amendment was we got from 7 to 4. You changed the hours, right? That was an email we got.
The hours were changed to,
7 to 4.
7 to 6, 7 AM to 6 PM, is that right?
That's, yeah.
Oh, 7 to 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 7 with 4 employees, 7 to 6. Sorry.
okay, does the board feel we have sufficient information to set a public hearing?
I think that we have enough information. I don't,
You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to set a public hearing for Rob Morowski for the application for conditional use landscaping equipment storage, 22 Ripple Lane, map 3, lot 1A-1, for 826.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Roger and a second by Craig to set a public hearing for Rob Omwowski for conditional use to have landscaping equipment storage at 22 Ripple Lane, map 3, lot 1A-1. All those in favor? Before with one absent. Okay, we'll see you on the 26th.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next item on the agenda is Christine Paul. She's applying for a one-lot subdivision on Miso Way. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome back, guys.
Thank you.
Can you tell us briefly what you'd like to do?
So we have finished, we filled in all the wetlands, we installed 2 covered pipes.
You can't fill wetlands in. You got a permit to do it, though.
They have a
Army
permit.
Corps of Engineer and
And the
DEP.
DEP, that has been approved by them.
You need to say it that way,
Okay,
okay?
sorry. That's all done. Riprap has been built around the culverts. It's pretty much just water traveled from one side to another side. Everything's been sloped on the sides of the road. All debris has been cleaned up, and we stuck it up way up on top of the road. Eventually, we'll clear that up when we get more money, but, you know, it's a little pricey. I have pictures on my phone if you guys want to see it, of the road, or...
If you want, you could provide those pictures to code enforcement, and they could give it to us at the next meeting.
Yeah, we can email that.
So you own one parcel now, correct?
Yes.
And you want to subdivide that parcel into a smaller, you want to split a parcel off of the mother parcel.
Yeah, it's a 6.62 acre parcel in the
Yep.
back that we would be able to sell in February of 2026 without approval. So now we're 18 months away from, yeah, we're just asking to sell it earlier.
Yeah, I saw it listed.
Yes.
like, that looks familiar.
Subject to,
Well, yeah, I mean, that's
yeah.
no worries there. I was like, look, I know that place.
Okay, questions to the board, Roger?
I unfortunately I can't find that application right in front of me, so I can't draw any questions off of that. It sounds like you guys have gotten approvals to get the areas filled to get the road in and stuff like that. And then for me, it's, I don't have anything, other statements or questions.
We hired a contractor that did the culverts, just to mention that too. So everything has been done on that end, it's been done professionally. He cleaned up all debris, so it looks really nice now.
Is this a road that is going to be a private road or one that's handed to the town?
It's
Private.
private, yeah.
Okay.
What's that for now?
Yep.
Craig?
Oh, I've got a few things. Number one, we're gonna need to do a new site walk. We've got 3 new board members,
Yep.
and this has been going on 10 months.
Wow,
It's been that long.
time flies.
It's almost a start over for us. It's been so long. There's no HHE 200s in your packet, so,
Do you know what those are?
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Okay,
the septic
you-
design. We got the soil test. Mark Hampton went out and did soil test pits. That's what we were told we needed.
We need
Yep.
copies of the test pits,
We need actually written copies of the test
the
pit
form
data.
itself.
They should be in the
They're
packet.
not in
They're
here.
not. They're not.
It shows the test pit locations, but
Right.
it doesn't,
We don't have copies of the test. You show the test
He
pits.
actually stated that any of the upland areas are suitable.
We need
for septic.
to get a permit to install a septic system. You have to submit that form. It's a state law.
they have to show the test pits.
Yes.
That's
They-
in the
it's-
ordinance. We actually need, even if you don't supply them to a buyer, we still need those HHE 200s as part of our zoning ordinance, as part of your approvals. So we have to have those. And you said you've been working on the road.
Yep.
You're not approved yet to do a road. We haven't approved anything. You really should be stopping. You shouldn't be building that road right now. I mean, we've been 10 months, we haven't got anywhere with it. We really need an engineered plan for that road. That's in the zoning ordinance as well. And then, some of your application is missing and incorrect, and that needs to be straightened out and added back in. Other than that, when do we even look at that? Well, it's 10 months, so it was what?
You and I went in February. Was
Yeah.
it last February?
Oh, God.
I think it
Anyway,
was December.
Yeah, it was December.
It was
before you-
cold.
Yeah.
The ground was frozen, yeah. So, yeah, we have 3 new board members, Roger,
Right.
Heath, and Scott Warchel, who's not here tonight.
Because I think this all started in October,
Yes.
if I remember right.
Yep.
Are we able to schedule a site walk, or do we want a completed complete application first, or how do you want
Keith, what's your opinion, or do you have any questions?
I definitely would like a site walk.
Yes.
Sure.
Do you need additional information, or?
No, I mean, I was gonna ask, because I saw about the road needs to be completed to the lot. I was gonna ask that, but it sounds like you guys have been working on the road anyways. So,
Sorry to interrupt you. The DEP and Army Corps of Engineers approved us to do 106 feet that goes right through the wetland area. They wanted that get filled in. The minute the land dried, that's when we start work. We didn't start any work without their approval. All that's been filled in within 2 weeks and done and said. From there on, we have no plans of putting any more money towards that, like, so whoever buys it, they'll
Has to
they'll
finish
be
it.
responsible for it.
okay.
you just creating the access and they'll,
Right.
We got them over the wetland area, so they don't
Yes.
have to worry about that.
We're not going any further than that, like, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll get a better
At this point, it's
visual
a
when
right
we can
of
do
way
it.
on our personal land,
Right.
so just to, yeah.
Like we did discuss about, you know, the walkthrough. We'll get a better view of it then, because I've never seen what it looks like at this point, you know. That'll help.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. Okay, does the board feel we have sufficient information to at least set a sidewalk?
I
Yes.
believe we do, yes.
Yeah. What do we have for times? I'm busy every night this week. I can't do anything at all this week.
I think it's supposed to rain Sunday, isn't it?
I'm insanely low staffed, so weekend would be hard for me.
Okay, what about next Monday?
I like Monday.
I can do next Monday.
Monday?
Yeah.
Monday works.
Okay.
Perfect.
That's
That's
the
the day off, so.
Are you available on Monday?
Yes, I am.
Okay, sorry.
No, no, perfect.
We
My
should
day
ask
off,
you
so-
first.
Perfect.
6 o'clock on Monday, is that agreeable?
Yes.
6 p.m. Monday.
And I'll have Roxanne or Penny notify Scott. All right,
All right, ready?
yeah, motion?
Make a motion to set a site walk for Christine Paul, application for one lot subdivision off Miso Way.
For,
For August
19th.
19th at 6 PM.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Craig and a second by Roger to set a sidewalk for Christine Paul for a one-lot subdivision at 17 Miso Way. Discussion, all those in favor? Okay, 4 in favor, 1 absent. So we need copies of those HH 100s, are they?
200.
200s, excuse me.
200.
And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, it's a septic design.
Okay.
Okay, they're not in your packet.
Yeah, like, he never did the HHE. We were told to get the soil test pits the last time, so this is new. But I'll ask Mark Hampton to just supply those.
He should be very familiar with those forms.
No, he knows, but we were told soil test pits. We weren't told the HHE.
Yeah.
Because I know exactly what those are.
That's a soil test.
Yeah, we have the soil test pits are done, he didn't draw up the HHE.
When he digs the hole, that's when he does the HH 200. He notes the characteristics of the ground as he digs the hole.
And there is a letter in here from Mark.
Yes.
There is a letter in here.
Maybe he has copies, he just didn't provide them.
Oh, where did I see it?
I think that was in regards to wetlands.
He did the
Right here.
delineation, but then he came back out after you had suggested last November to have him come, or told us we needed to, not suggested. So there is a letter with the soil test pits, and then he drew it
Soil
out.
evaluation was conducted in accordance with Maine subsurface wastewater disposal rules as amended. I evaluated 2 hand excavated soil test pit holes on the parcel. The soils found on the parcel are moderately well-drained glacial outwash sands with a limiting factor to water at approximately 2 feet. The The soils, as evaluated, meet the minimum requirements for the state rules. A septic design can be completed at some time in the future. But part of our standards for subdivision is we actually need that paperwork
Okay.
for it, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay?
All right,
All right, we'll see you on Monday, the 19th.
awesome.
Yep,
Thank you.
6
Thank you,
o'clock. You're
guys.
welcome. Next item on the agenda is Gary's General Contracting Incorporated, an application for a 6-lot subdivision on Berry Farm. Berry Farm subdivision, Berry Farm Road, and map 9, lot 23. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Caitlin Abbott. I'm a civil engineer with Sebago Technics, here representing the applicant, Gray's General Consulting. Mr. and Mrs. Gray are with us this evening. And one correction to the agenda is that it's proposes a 7-lot subdivision.
Yep.
The project is located on Berry Road and on the corner of Berry Road and Long Plains Road, and it's Berry Road subdivision, located in the residential zone. Right now, the property is mixed of forested and fields. We went through an in-depth net residential calculation, which was coordinated with the Code Enforcement Office, which yielded 25 units. 19 are being proposed. The wetlands were completed in May of 2024, this year, by Mainly Soils LLC. They also completed the test pits on each lot, which were suitable for septic. Survey was completed by Sebago Technics. If we're pulling up the subdivision plan here, and I can go through the layout of the lots. All right, so starting in the south on Berry Road, the Lot 1, there's an existing home that is on Berry Road, which is included in those 19 units that I just mentioned. So that would stay the existing home, no proposed changes on that lot. Moving north, we have Lot 2. There's an existing large barn on this lot right now that the applicant would be looking to convert to 12 units for 55-plus residents. That'll go through a site plan application review. Lot 3 will be single family, and that's off of Long Plains Road, moving towards the east. And then Lot 4 is proposed to be a single family, also accessed off Long Plains Road. Lot 5, also a single family, that will be accessed from a private driveway that will be proposed along that 50-foot easement that you can see coming in to the subdivision. Skipping ahead, Lot 7, that will also be accessed off of the proposed driveway at the end of that right-of-way easement. And then backing up a bit on Lot 6, to the east corner, that is going to be a proposed duplex, which will also be accessed from Long Plains Road. So all the lots will be accessed by driveways. There are no roadways or private roads that are being proposed for the project. With that, I'll open it back up to the board for questions.
Roger?
So between Lot 5 and Lot 6, this driveway coming in, is that what, and it looks like the Strawwater River runs right through there. Are you going to be accessing Lot 3 from that roadway behind, or are you going to be accessing it right over the brook, or right over the river there?
Lot 3 would be accessed from Long Plains Road. We would be getting a permit by rule, which is currently being submitted to the DEP for that crossing in order to build a home there.
Okay.
And then Lot 5, the driveway is being proposed to avoid the wetlands in the front of the site.
So that's just a driveway proposed, not an access to any other lots, just Lot 5 and Lot 6? Or Lot 6 will be on its own?
Lot 5 and Lot 7.
Lot 5, and so under my map here is Lot 7, the Lot 32 where the pond is?
Correct.
Okay. I don't have any other questions right at the moment.
Give me a few minutes, Jerry.
Yep. Is any of this property located in the shoreline zone?
No.
None. Okay. I'm just confused, this line that runs to the left-hand side that's parallel, that goes up like this, what does that signify?
That's an old range road.
Okay. Is all this property in the residential zone?
Yes,
None is in rural?
none is in rural.
Okay. You need to depict 2 test pits per each lot.
2?
2.
Okay.
So you need to do, and can you provide us with the HH 200 forms, please?
Yep.
You're familiar with those?
We are.
Okay. You're gonna need entrance permits from MDOT for all the lots that abut Long Plains Road.
Correct.
You do not need one for the Berry Road.
Is, and this is way ahead of ourselves, but where the barn is that enough land for 12 lots? I know that that's, or 12 units? I don't,
I think that's something for later.
Yeah.
That's something
I know,
they're
getting
gonna
ahead
come
of myself.
back in on.
Yeah, we're
that's
just,
still a chicken barn, right?
yes.
If you look on the sketch plan, there's a note right above the approval block that breaks out the net res calculation for that lot specifically.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. But for purposes now, we're only talking about the subdivision itself. We're not talking about the multi-family, with the 12-unit building that might be proposed in the chicken coop.
Correct. That will be under a separate site plan
That'll be entirely
application.
separate,
We just wanted to
entirely.
make sure our net res was planning for that.
Okay, thank you.
And you couldn't do that until you created the subdivision because you wouldn't have the lot to do it on.
Correct.
Is the pond man-made?
Yes, it's a farm pond.
So it doesn't fall under any DEP regulations?
It should not. It is connected tributary to Stroudwater
Okay.
River there, so there may potentially need to be an NRPA stream crossing or just some coordination with Army Corps, which we will do early on in the project.
Okay. I'm all set for now. Keith?
Yeah, question again. So lot 2, you said was gonna come off Berry Road, the access? Okay, and then 3, 4, and 6 will come off of Long Plains?
3, 4, 6, yeah, and, correct, yep.
That's all I got for right this second.
Is there any input from town staff? No. Okay. Craig?
So, the 50-foot right-of-way is gonna service 2 lots.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's not a hammerhead, that's just a driveway to lot 5 and a driveway to lot 7.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Jerry, how's that work with access off the hammerhead? They can't
Well,
come
it's
straight off.
You can't have a driveway off the hammerhead.
Right,
You can have it to the side.
right, which
You
they
can't
have
have
up
it directly
there.
off the either
But down in lot 7,
can't be straight off the hammerhead.
can't be straight off.
So the hammerhead would have to extend to come off
Squeeze
the
it.
side?
Probably gonna have to extend it down a little more,
So you might be able to sneak off to the left there if you're facing this way.
come in off the side, yeah.
You can't have a driveway directly off a hammerhead.
And it looks
Does that
like,
apply to private roads or just town roads?
That applies to both.
Both. Okay. So
For
if you check
driveway
in
as
the
well.
ordinance on access to lots, it will notify you what you can and can't do with the hammerheads.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you.
it's going to drop down the pond.
Anything else for now?
I think I'm good for right now. You got the test pits and the HHEs.
Well, we need
I was thinking
an
about
additional
that.
test pit on each lot.
Yes, yeah, because there's only one.
Any other questions for the applicant right now?
Nothing I have right now.
Can you provide us go through the ordinance and provide us with answers to the section pertinent to the subdivision.
Absolutely.
What are you planning on doing for fire protection?
So there'll be wells that are proposed on each of the sites, or each of the lots, and the 12 unit, we'll have to coordinate that. I imagine it might need to be sprinkled, have a sprinkler, so we'll coordinate that with safety.
If you do more than 4 lots, you need to have either a fire pond, a dry hydrant, or sprinkled system.
Where, and just a question for myself as well, where that man-made pond right there on lot 7, that's not to be considered a fire pond, or is it? I don't know, I'm just
I'm not
asking.
an engineer, I don't know.
So I had that conversation with the chief schools,
Yep,
so we're addressing those issues.
okay,
Currently, we're looking either to sprinkle
Okay.
or on the private way. Eventually, maybe put in a hydrant on the pond.
okay.
So I'm aware of either direction.
Okay, I just wanted to, because I didn't notice that.
And we knew we had to sprinkle the big building.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave the expertise of fire safety and that stuff to Chief Schools,
Yes.
but as long as he signs off, I don't think the board would have an issue
Yep.
with whatever the solution becomes. Okay?
Yeah, I'm working with him on that.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
Okay, do we want to wait, or, you're gonna, I was asking you to provide us with answers to the sections in the subdivision ordinance?
Yep, we'll do that with
Go
the
through
next
whole
submission.
thing? Okay. And this is a conventional subdivision, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you're meeting all the dimensional requirements of that specific zone with these lots?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have sufficient information for a sidewalk, or do we want to wait a little bit?
We do have the lots laid out and flagged right now, ready for a site walk, if that's enticing at all.
Sorry. I did stake.
I'm sorry, can you state your name for the record, please?
David Gray,
Okay.
General Contractor.
Yep.
I did stake along Plains Road.
Yep,
So you'll see the stakes with green flags on them, indicating the boundaries of each lot and the 50-foot private way. So
okay.
it's pretty dangerous down there trying to walk it, so that's why I staked it, so you at least see it.
Probably, it's a pretty big property, so I don't know if we could do it like, probably have to do it during the day, or, another 6 o'clock?
Yeah, we kind of start right up where the house is on Berry Road, and, well, it drops off hard, too.
I mean, it's fairly open up to the barn, right?
Right. Yes, you can drive in that side.
We could
Yeah.
drive to the barn?
Yep. We can drive all the way down to the pond,
Okay,
and then you can walk down the old snowmobile trail to get down to Long Plains Road.
Okay.
Or you can park across the street at Keith's house,
Yep.
which he allowed me to park there, so,
yep.
He's a good guy.
he is. Yep.
Do you want to try to do this Monday after Miso Way, or do you want to set a separate date?
I don't think
gonna
I
take
have
a while.
time.
I'm gonna say, I'm
I'd
gonna need a
say a
separate
whole
date.
separate date.
Yeah.
I would say definitely.
Well, we're into next,
I mean, if we wanted to run it to the following Saturday or Sunday, well, no, not the Sunday, but Saturday,
I'm not around on Saturdays.
you take weekends off?
Yep. I am out of town.
Jeez.
what about the 20th or the 21st after that Miso Way site walk, the Tuesday or
Yeah.
Wednesday after?
I could do either one of those nights, I don't know.
I'm good with a Tuesday.
Okay.
Yep.
You want to do two in a row?
Do you want it to be a little bit before 6, or is
I mean, it's start till,
8?
I can do 5, can you get there at 5:30?
Yeah.
You can?
Yep. I can be there.
Does that work for you guys?
Can you meet us at 5:30?
Yep.
Tuesday the 13th, I mean, Tuesday the 20th.
Do you want to make a motion, Roger, please?
Make a motion to set a site walk for Berry Road subdivision, map 9, lot 23, for Tuesday, the 20th at 5:30 PM.
Second.
I have a motion by Roger and a second by Craig to set a site walk for Jerry's General Contracting for a 7-lot subdivision on Berry Farm subdivision, 81 Berry Road, map 9, lot 23, for August 20th at 5:30 PM. All those in favor? It'll be 4 in favor and 1 absent. Okay, we'll see you.
One other thing, do you happen to have that right-of-way staked out,
Yes.
or at least flagged, staked out? Okay.
Well, it's staked out on the roadway,
Okay,
not up through the land.
okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Right away is directly across from my driveway.
yeah.
Well, I know where to park then.
Do we want any of that flagged at least, Jerry?
Are we gonna go to every corner of every lot? It's pretty thick, it gets pretty thick in there,
Probably
doesn't
not.
it?
I mean, it's pretty nasty thick in there.
Yeah, that snowmobile trail hasn't been used in a while.
I think maybe what we do is we go in by the, old chicken coop.
Yeah.
We walk in down there, and then we can go back out, park at Keith's house, and then go from Keith's house in. But it's pretty thick down there, isn't it?
It is, it's very
Yeah.
wooded.
Yeah.
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 Yep. Maybe we'll start at the chicken coop, and then we'll go from there.
Yep.
And see how it goes.
Yeah,
Is that agreeable?
Sounds good.
Okay.
works for me.
Okay. All right, we'll see you on the 20th at 5:30.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the CEO report.
The only thing I want to report is that we're currently requiring residential electric permits.
Yes.
We've hired 2 inspectors, one primary and 1 backup.
Okay.
We hired Marcel DeRocher for the primary and Rick Emery for the backup, for
Is
the
Marshall
deputy.
from Saco?
He is.
Okay. My electrician knows him, that's good.
It is good. And that's all I have to report, other than it's busy.
Okay. Approval of minutes for July 8th, 2004.
Oh, where are they? I know they're here. Ah. I looked them over, Jerry, the other day. I thought they looked okay. I didn't see any
Okay.
omissions.
Have a
So I
motion.
make a motion to approve the minutes for July 8th, 2024 as written.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Craig and a second by Roger to approve the minutes for July 8th. Discussion, all those in favor? Would be 4 in favor, 1 absent. Approval of bills. Who's the treasurer now? Scott is, right? He's not here, okay, I'll do him. I have a bill here from the Maine Trust for Local News for $50.01. And another bill here from the Portland Press Herald for $51.86. One was for a public hearing on July 8th, the other was for a public hearing on August 12th. Make a motion to approve the following items.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Craig, to pay the Press Herald the following amounts. Discussion, all those in favor? Be 4 with 1 absent. Communications, I have a copy here of the Maine Town and City. Wasn't it Maine Townsman for a while? They changed the name of it?
They changed it, yep. Yep.
Okay. If anybody would like to see it, we did, I'll do that other business. Okay, maybe what we'll do is after we adjourn, we'll sign the, we have to do the findings of fact for Dearborn, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Does everybody have a copy of the findings of fact for Dearborn?
Yep.
Did they review them?
I have.
Okay. Well, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the findings of fact for Dearborn Family LLC, 99 Narragansett Trail, Buxton, Maine, for tax map 9, lot 23, for the Field View Farm subdivision.
Second.
Motion by myself and second by Craig to approve the findings of fact for the Dearborn family, the tax map 9, lot 23, Fieldview Farm subdivision. All those in favor? Before, one absent. And then we'll sign the prints after we adjourn. All right. Okay. Pease, application 14 lot, Pease Road. Okay, yep, that's okay, finding, that's the same. Yep. Attendees may address the board.
Jason Roginski. I'm just, need some clarification on a couple things brought up tonight.
I'm not going to allow any comments on.
Oh, no, I'm not going to comment. I just want some clarification from what Patty said about houses.
Yeah, but I'm not going to allow comments on an application since the applicants are not here.
I understand
don't think it's fair to them in the process. So if you want to ask questions about the process or something like that, but specific questions about a pending application, I would prefer if you did when the applicant was here. Okay?
I can't ask Patty about the clarification of the...
You could come into the office and ask Patty when she's in the office.
Okay.
You want to do that?
I would rather have it be with the board, because if it's something the board has to vote on, I
Okay.
can say what I think.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean anything.
Okay, what's your question?
I was just asking, are those home occupations or are those actual businesses that are being rented to other people?
They're not home occupations, and I can give you a copy of my list. I meant to do that,
No, that's fine. I just...
so you can see what we see.
Okay.
And I'm
then-
going to give a copy to the applicant, which I did not do either.
And then my other question was the land use table, which I can ask you about it later, but it says that no outdoor storage or warehousing is allowed in the village zone. So I just wanted to bring that up. And then also 11.28 may come into play.
Okay.
And that's
Thank you.
it. Thank you.
Yep.
11.28,
The commercial,
okay.
because it's in village zone and if you're changing the use of a building from residential to commercial,
I just wanted to write down the section so I could look at it before we...
thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Anybody else?
I just want a little more information too. See how far I get. On this one-lot subdivision,
Yep.
where, have they not owned the property for more than 5 years? Why
Yeah.
is it a subdivision?
Because they have not owned the property for more than 5 years.
That answers that question, okay. And someone mentioned something about a private road. Can't you just put it in a private, if it's going to be a private road, can't you install it whenever you want?
I don't know. That's,
Patty, do you know? Is there a restriction? Okay. Just if it's going to become a town road,
Then
you
Well,
want it
so
inspected?
if it's part of a subdivision, technically, they're not supposed to offer it up for sale or do any improvements until they have the approval.
right.
Okay.
So there's a
So the
little...
question was whether I think if they were not asking for subdivision approval, then they could put a private road on their property if they wanted to.
Okay.
Since they're asking for approval as a subdivision, they probably should have waited until
Right. So it could be
the
inspected
lot
as it
split
went
was
along?
approved, and then they could build the road.
Okay.
It's cinematics or whatever.
And this may have been a misunderstanding on my part. With subdivisions, like especially with Shortles up here on Town Farm Road, it was 5 or 6 lot subdivision. I thought he just showed test pits. Did he actually provide a HHE 200?
Yeah.
He did, okay.
As far as I know, yeah, I don't remember.
I wasn't aware of that. I thought they just had to show that it was suitable for.
Can you get a permit to install a septic system without an HH 200?
They're not asking for a permit to install the septic system. They're asking...
They're asking for test pits, so it's a suitable lot, because
Right.
Right.
Yeah, just that one could be provided on that lot.
Right.
But do you have to make, because there's quite a difference between somebody coming
I'm
out and
gonna
saying, yeah,
check
that's
that.
acceptable.
I'm going to check what the ordinance says.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
made a note to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because just checking a test pit saying it's acceptable is different than 600 or, I don't know, maybe they're up to 700 now for a,
And I want
Well-
to say that every time we get a HHE 200 on a subdivision lot before it's approved, it gets revised.
Because the house ends up where the septic
Different
system's gonna be.
location, right.
Yep,
Um,
okay.
But I want to see what the ordinance says.
all right, very good,
I
thanks.
mean, I guess if you bought a lot and you had those two test pits, you could, when they sold you the lot, they would give you, the plans to do the septic. But then again, you could do it.
I don't know.
Right.
Don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah. Anybody else like to speak? Okay, seeing none, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
7:22? 8:22, excuse me. I can't see.
I'll second.
Motion by myself, second by Roger to adjourn at 8:22. All those in favor? 4 in favor, 1 absent. Okay, good evening.